2023 Auburn University Marching Band. For your halftime entertainment, we celebrate the 43-year reign of the Speed Metal Kings, Metallica. With 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, and 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And now, let's turn down the house and light up the stage for the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
Well, we're not done talking about that Auburn Surplus Sale. We have got so many other things, the history, the event, all of it to talk about tonight with Clint Richardson of the Auburn Uniform Database. Get ready, folks. It's show and tell time, and you're going to love the heck out of this show. Let's get into those things right now. Warrior, everybody, and welcome to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we sit down, and we talk about the Auburn experience, all about Auburn sports, culture, and family stuff. An easier way to say it, if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. And there's going to be a lot of orange and blue in this one, in the colorways, in the uniforms, in all of the things. This is a continuation of what I am calling the summer of Clint Richardson. And he's back. And I don't just mean that because he's back, because he keeps showing up on this show for some reason. I have not found a way to get rid of him yet. But it is the summer of Clint because he is just living his best life this entire summer when it comes to Auburn stuff. Welcome back, Clint.
It's been so busy, but it's about to chill out a little bit.
You're about to go on a cruise, apparently, right? And go take some R&R? Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know that was private business. Clint, this is 5 times this year that we've gotten together, I think, to talk about whether it's been about Nike and the changeover, the history of Under Armour, crazy uniforms, debut of uniforms, and now what essentially is going to be, when we get to it, a show and tell time. So you've had a lot of time here on E2C Network this summer.
I have, and you say you can't get rid of me, but I can't get rid of all your text messages with, please come be on my show.
Now, hold on.
Yes.
Now, hold on. It was your suggestion for this show in the middle of this hour-long line for the surplus sale this time. Now, most of the other times it's me, though. Most of the times it's
you. But, I mean, when you spend as much as I did, you got to show it off. Maybe I can write it off for showing it like this. Maybe that's how that works.
Yeah, maybe you consult with your tax person. I'm not going to give you tax advice on that.
That's professional.
We are not tax professionals here, but maybe there's a way for you to finagle that in there some way, somehow. All right, so let me set the table for what we're doing tonight as Clint's, friends show up. And have some fun with him. Obviously, if you're a little unfamiliar with why we're even getting together for this purpose, let me just give you some information. Auburn just held what is essentially a first of its kind for Auburn, as far as we can tell, event called the Auburn Surplus Sale, where they got rid of about 2 decades worth, essentially, of equipment and more so uniforms, apparel, gear in that realm that they have accumulated and no longer have a use for, because the majority of it, if not all, is Under Armour related, or it's just old and outdated and it's time to put it to better use. And so they held that event. We were there. Clint was there. Lots of you were there. So many of you still missed the announcement, and I don't understand how you did, because Auburn put it out there. We put it out there. I'll tell you this much, Clint. I've been like on nonstop. Everybody will text me, I didn't know about this. I was like, well, if you subscribe to the podcast, you'll actually know, because we've been talking about this nonstop.
Pay attention, and it's right there.
You debuted this too, I think, at the beginning of the summer, and kind of hinted at, hey, I'm not saying it's officially happening, but usually they're surplus sales. So
yep, there was nothing. There were nothing heard through the grapevines back then. That was just a hunch, and it worked out. So here we are sitting here today. So the purposes of us, what we want to do today is just let Clint spend some time talking about his stuff that he bought. Now, Clint, real quick, how much money roughly did you spend?
if you want to share?
About 750.
I was like, you posted it. So $700+, which I think you said you totaled the actual retail value to a few thousand.
To, I think, $2,400.
Okay. So I when I was talking to Jessica about it earlier, I was like, I think it was 4,000, but maybe I inflated that a little bit.
Shocker. Kyle inflates numbers, but
no, never me getting math wrong here. Never. So that's what we're going to be getting into today. I do want to give Clint some space before we do that to maybe just talk about the events, things that he thought went well, maybe if there were things that could be better if there's a next time, or just anything that you want to share about the event before we get into what I know most people are here for.
Yeah, I thought it was actually a really well-run event. It's hard to do something like this, especially when you only do it once, but Auburn had, I seen the number between 30 and 60,000 different items to sell. And I mean, there were, I think they said 3,000 people came through the lines, but I got there early. I was number 2 or number 3 in line, and it was still a fight to get what we wanted to get. But it was still a lot of fun. It was great to hang out with a lot of friends and meet some other people from social media. But, I think my biggest takeaway was just that group of guys that we had at the front of the line who got there so early. The first guy in line got there at 6 a.m. I got there at 8 a.m. And there were maybe 20 or 30 of us until about 9:30 or 10 when the crowd actually started to show up. But just everybody was super kind. Everybody was nice. Everybody was saying hi. We were sharing photos that Rhett Hobart was posting on social media so that we could all kind of have a little bit of an idea what to expect when those doors opened. And speaking of the doors, Auburn had posted a map of the facility and how it was going to be laid out, but that showed that the entrance was going to be at about the 20 or 30 yard line of the indoor practice field. And so we got there and we're like, all right, well, the entrance looks like it's going to be here in essentially the end zone. And so we spent probably 2 hours waiting on an athletics employee that we could confirm that with, just to know where to line up. And the whole time we were waiting, that entire group, all 20 or 30 of us, were like, if we had to move, we're just going to honor this line. 6 a.m. guy, you get to go up front, and we're just going to follow in line as we currently are. No cheating, no cutting. We're just going to honor it. And I thought that was such a cool moment with those guys, and just nobody was trying to outdo another one just to get there slightly earlier, just to go look at football jerseys.
Yeah. So obviously, I think there were a lot of stories of that throughout the event. I think Auburn family, by and large, conducted themselves well. Now, certainly things got a little bit crazier as certain events occurred that required them to let more people in. We've touched on that, and you can certainly talk about it again if you'd like to, but we've talked about it on the show already. There was a need to let more people in than they necessarily wanted to in certain amounts of time. And it did get a little wild and crazy once things have been rummaged through about 50,000 times already. Things get a little bit thrown around and tossed around.
It was funny to just shop through everybody's leftover piles, not on the tables, but basically they're put back piles that they just left, A-frames, piles on the ground, just everywhere. I thought it was also hilarious that athletic employees started walking around with empty boxes to hand out to people so that they could carry their hauls away with that. And as we're in line trying to wait and get out of here, everybody was just kicking it, and it was just humorous. It was just funny to watch.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch it and see all the things, get to hang out with Clint and many others. And then we met followers and viewers, listeners, and I know Clint met some people that follow his
Kyle
stuff
got
too.
some photos with some people in line.
Well,
Kyle was the celebrity here.
No, I appreciate that, but I don't know that those photos will ever be worth much to them. But anyway, I mean, it was a fun day of the Auburn family, especially when we're not having a fan day experience like we typically have had. This felt kind of like it took the place of it. And so whether I know there's been some frustrations expressed about this aspect of this, they're never going to have a perfect event, but I thought for a first of its kind, probably won't happen for decades again type of event, this went off as well as it could have, even given some of the challenges with some of the weather that played a factor in capacity and things like that. this is coming from a guy who got to go in a little bit early, thanks to the athletic staff for letting me do that. I know, just
humble brag, Kyle.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it was nice to go in there and see what the organization looked like before everybody got in there, and it quickly changed. If y'all have seen the video, if you've seen the video of everybody not throwing, but moving through the jerseys, this is mayhem. So it quickly went from just looking pristine to, just wild and craziness. Anyway,
yeah, we got in and immediately went to the back of the facility to go see the baseball jerseys, and thank God we did, because if we didn't, we wouldn't have gotten any. And I'm starting to pull the piles apart just to kind of pick out a size and a number that would work for us, and I'm getting bum rushed. It's getting a little tight right there. And as soon as I pull one out, just the whole thing just disintegrates. The whole pile does. And now there's jerseys laying everywhere. And I felt so bad for ruining the neatness of the tables, but it was a losing battle to begin with.
There's a comment on Twitter, but it's not coming through here, that I saw pop up here, and it's from Susan Melton. She's asking, there were some limits on certain items you could get. She was just curious how you were able to spend so much with some of those limits. I think it's just because of the variety of stuff you're about to show that you got. I mean,
yes, that's part of it. But so let's go back to the rule. First of all, it was late Friday night that we learned of this new limitation of 6 premium jerseys per transaction. And that means football, baseball, softball, men's and women's basketball. Any jersey that was stitched on was considered premium. They were $35 a piece instead of $25 a piece. And just to limit everybody, and so that everybody would have a chance to get one, they put that 6 per person limit. And thankfully, my wife was with me. I had some friends with me if I needed to. And we were all kind of planning that out, that like, Kyle, if I had more than 6, I was going to throw a couple your way.
I was ready.
And to be completely honest, there was an Auburn Athletics employee who sat outside for about 5 minutes answering a couple of questions before the event opened, probably 10 or 11, and told us it's per transaction, not per person. You are welcome to come back around. You are welcome to hand your stuff to the kid behind you and your card and pay for it that way. We're just trying to do a little bit of what we can to limit this a little bit.
Right.
So,
because you can only do so much in an event like this, of first of its kind. There's so much that could go wrong.
Right.
But look, I think it went off great.
I do too.
So we can talk about that more as it comes up or anything like that. And maybe if we have time, we don't know if we will, questions at the end. Clint may just talk about some things that come up along the way. So I'm going to give you the floor, Clint. It's show and tell time, and whatever you want to talk about with amongst that show and tell, I may pop in and ask some questions, but let's do this.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to start with what I'm wearing. I finally got me a cream baseball jersey. Been hunting one of these ever since they wore them. And unfortunately, it's not the one that they wore last year, but it's the original cream jersey from the 2009 to 2018 period. This one in particular was worn 2015 through 2018. So that puts it, as a 27 jersey, was either worn by Justin Camp or Dylan Ingram. Mm-hmm. And I am ecstatic to have finally got one of these. And even got the matching Block A team issued hat. Did you get this?
No, I didn't get it there. I thought I already had it or something, like a version of that or something.
I had bought this one at retail a couple of years ago, but they had a couple of team issued hats.
Very nice.
So
I like that white one.
These don't fit me. This one fits me, but these are just $10 for a hat to begin with, let alone a team issued hat. Like, this is going straight on the wall. But I know that people are always going to wonder, like, how do you know it's team issued? How do you know it's game worn? All that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So one of the easiest ways to tell, especially with Under Armour hats, is, I don't know if that's even going to show, Kyle, but there it is. So there's these mesh perforations all around the back. So that's part of it, but also these hats have actual sizes. So This is a 7 1/4 sized hat. If you go to retail, you can only buy them as a small medium hat, medium large hat, large extra large, and so on. So while I do have a block A retail hat that matches this exact style, it's a large XL hat. And for me with a big head, 7 5/8 hat, it bobbles on me. It's too big for me, which I didn't think was possible. But it's always nice to get some of those little pieces like that. And
clipping that because he admitted he has a big head. So now I don't even have to feel bad about joking on it.
No, you don't. But let's stick with baseball and last year's Navy jersey.
Very nice.
What's also cool about these is they had to rip off all the nameplates, but you might not be able to see it.
I could see it because I know what I'm looking for.
There's some leftover, sew marks and seams that show you exactly where that nameplate was. But this was a Samuel Dutton jersey last year, so that's a fun little piece. And then
is that your probably most recent confirmed one that you're pretty sure that was theirs or his or an extra of his?
Well, I have another Dutton.
He's got another Dutton.
I got a little big bro Dutton, who still hits 1,000 in his Auburn baseball career. So this one's a little odd because I realized before we got on here that so all of these jerseys have a little tag on the inside of the collar that has the date.
Yeah.
Or the year. So it's just going to be a little 23. The 20 is assumed with all of these. And the pinstripe one does not have that. So those tags always indicate the first year that it was used.
Okay.
And I can't find one on this pinstripe jersey. So
what does that tell you or not tell you?
Well, I also noticed while we were there that this style with the orange outline has essentially two different templates that were worn. The first one was basically just a solid white, but it's hard to tell, but we've got just a little bit of mesh perforated throughout this entire jersey and makes it a little bit lightweight, a little more lightweight, but also the older ones, the more solid ones, were a little off-white colored. And I don't know if that's the material or just they were a couple of years older, but and then we go to another last year baseball jersey.
Can you tell that Clint loves his baseball?
I love my baseball. And so this one was either Ryan Dial or Cale Strickland over the last couple of years. So it's just always cool for me to get these in my hands and just
start digging on what this.
Yeah, because so what do you notice? What do you notice on the front of this jersey, Kyle? There's no buttons.
Oh, I was looking more at the lettering, but yeah, there is no buttons on that. So how is it fastened? Velcro?
They're hidden.
Oh, wow.
They are hidden buttons.
And were you aware of that previous to that?
So the Nike baseball template that was worn, the last couple of years with MLB that caused big issues has no buttons, period. They are sewn all the way down. And so when I saw these, and I'm looking at pictures like there's no buttons. Maybe this is the same way. So it's just a fake placket down the seam just to give it that appearance. But then I started seeing pictures of the pitchers with, not buttoned. And so I was very confused at what we were looking at. And yeah, fake buttons or covered buttons.
You've ruined somebody else. Dalton now is
yep. Here, I will ruin it again for you with this next jersey. softball this time. So this is the teal Play for Alex Wilcott's jersey that was debuted 2 years ago. These have buttons, but they don't do anything.
They're just for show.
This placket is sewn on all the way down. There is no way to open this jersey. It is a pullover with a traditional button-up look.
How do you feel about that? Or how in general, whether it's softball or baseball?
I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
It's just, it's just kind of funny that they do this. I remember a couple of years ago when Nike took over the MLB uniform contract, which was supposed to be Under Armour, but Under Armour had to bail out of it at the last minute. There was an article about how the baseball uniform has not evolved in 100 years. They still wear the same buttons. They still wear the same belt. They still wear the same socks and pants. Like, it hasn't evolved. And the only evolutions we have, fake buttons. It's just funny to me.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. I think we discussed this last time you were on, like who sat around at the table and said, hey, we're going to try this thing this year. And then it stuck, or actually made it through the ideation process and went here we are with no buttons.
Well, and even this one, it's the placket striping is completely printed on. It's not sewn on at all. This is other than the numbers and the lettering, this is almost a 100% printed uniform, which is different compared to these. And these were the same line of uniforms.
Yeah.
So, this is an Aubrey Lisenby jersey. But like every detail, the AU on the back is a patch. The sleeve striping is stitched on. And it's like, why did we have to? So here's another little detail. So we already talked about the tag in the back of the collar. So this at the bottom of the shirt is called the jock tag. And it's just a little tag. And Under Armour changed it a couple of years ago to this circle design. But that kind of shows you that this is like the top level of Under Armour product. But if we go back to this teal jersey, it has this jock tag.
Okay.
Which is almost more generic. So this jersey effectively was the same thing as just picking it off the shelf and taking it to a printer to get done. I don't know the process of how they did this.
Right.
But, you've got, if you look at like high school jerseys, they typically have this more generic tag, not the official word bid deal tag. So just a little minor detail.
Just little hints to tell you the difference between the real deal stuff and the stuff that we get at retail.
And this is also how you can tell what's a real retail jersey and what's been a knockoff retail jersey. So if you like to buy from those Chinese knockoff places, there's signs, and that's one of them. So we'll continue on to a gray Rose Roach jersey from the last couple of years.
So she's been around for 2 years. So yeah, or
she's been around for 5.
Is it 5?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
I have her mixed up with somebody else.
She's been around for a couple of years, but this was the new collar design that they started wearing on the grays and the blues. And the blue jersey made it to retail, and the collar comes all the way around to a point. And it looks so much better than what they actually ended up wearing.
So you like the point better than what you're showing us, right?
I don't like this collar.
Why, is there a reason why? Is it just an aesthetic personal thing, or is it
it's a weird, that's not a normal collar design. You know, it usually comes to a point. So it's just an odd choice.
It's kind of like we've talked about before, going back to how to get through the ideation table, but it's almost like too, like, there's got to be a purpose other than just, let's do something different. Or maybe that's just as simple as that. Let's just do something different, even if it sucks.
A lot of it is, and you will see that if you really dive into like the Nike football templates, let's just do something different. We got to do something different,
right?
So before we move on, I wanted to touch on a couple of the other softball items picked up. So
actual socks, orange and blue and white, or just orange and blue?
Orange and blue. Another orange with thick stripes and thin stripes. Love the thick stripes so much more. The white.
Okay. I like those white socks right there.
And to pair with that teal jersey, teal socks.
And you didn't get teal bottoms, you just got the tops.
They didn't have teal pants.
Okay. I didn't know if it was.
They wore the all navy practice pants with these, which we'll get to the pants, but I didn't see those. It would have been nice to have a full uniform. That would be fun.
Yeah.
But you ready to move on from softball?
It's whenever you have the floor, sir, so you get to pick. Wow, look at that beautiful thing.
Can we go football now?
You can certainly do it whenever you want.
2019 football, the 150 patch. I think this is an Aaron Sippis.
Oh, Sippis, yes, that's cool.
Think this
Clint.
is an Aaron Sippis jersey.
That is neat. Listen, Aaron Sippis, I believe, is still playing with the Philadelphia Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. I think
so.
And so you've got like a current NFL player, Auburn guy. Like that's one of his backups or the one he wore or whatever.
And again, we'll go back to these tags in the collar. So, it's not.
you had it there for a second.
44 and 19. So 2019 is the season that this was first introduced. 44, think about like your pant sizing. So 44 is essentially a medium, maybe a small, but you put this thing on, it's tight. It's going to be tight.
Yeah, I chose not to wear the one I bought tonight.
Did you put your...
I nearly
Have you
got
put it on yet?
I nearly got it on. Nearly. It's a little snug. It's a little snug.
But I don't know what this is going to show at all. But this bottom half,
I'm seeing it.
All mesh, is a completely different shade of white.
Yeah, it is.
And this jersey was much better than some of the other ones that I didn't pick up. There were some of this same template where this bottom mesh part was the same cream color as this baseball jersey.
Now, sorry, I'm going to ask a probably dumb question here.
Go for it.
Do you think they ever have a template for specific? Well, they wouldn't have it for specific positions because you can choose whatever number you want. I'm just thinking about like with punters, obviously they got a lot of torso movement that they've got to be doing. Is that?
Yep.
Could that have? I don't know. Sorry, that's just where my mind's going with all this kind of stuff.
I think that's a really good question, and we haven't seen player-specific, position-specific templates before.
Yeah,
we're just now starting to see position-specific helmets come into the fold. A lot of football jersey templates kind of fall into like a personal preference. We have seen NFL kickers wearing 10-year-old Nike templates just because that's what they're used to. They're not ready to adapt the new template for whatever reason. But as far as like this being a kicker specific template, no, we haven't seen that just yet.
I could see that the first second you pulled it up. Like it showed up fine on my end over here.
And it was bad on some of the other ones. I mean, it looked like they ended up being cleaned before they were so dirty.
Straight from the game.
But we'll continue on. This is I only got 2 football jerseys.
Okay. 94.
But this was last year's template. So there was nobody listed as 94 on the roster.
I started going through my head.
Figure it out.
I was like, the only 94s that pop in my head are Nosi Ikwe and Brett Edens, but that's before Under Armour.
But Nosa wore Under Armour.
Well, I'm sorry, Brett.
Brett,
Under Armour.
But it still has all the threads from the nameplate. So somebody wore this at some point. But it must have been, when you see players swapping jerseys for kickoff duties or whatever. I don't know why they would have done 94 though. But this was I still can't figure out who wore this one yet. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it, but yeah, I try to have one of each template, and now I have last year's template. And what I noticed with this was inside the sleeve, there's essentially a pouch on the sleeve. So, you see players with their shoulder pads, and they've got that flap on top.
Yeah.
Tuck it in here, and it's not going to move.
Oh, that's so smart.
I've of all the football jerseys I own, I have not seen that before.
And that's such a simple idea too. You think it's surprising that like people aren't more aware of it, or it doesn't happen as often.
So one thing that one of those things, if you will only notice if you were in the equipment room during games,
yeah,
a lot of football players will either wear Velcro or very strong double-sided tape on their shoulder pads to keep everything right there on them. But I've not seen a pouch on the sleeve like that before.
Interesting. And this is last 2019 is what you said.
No, this one's 2024.
2024. So this is the latest essentially, or the last.
Yep, that was the last of them. So that's all my.
I love that idea.
That's all my premium jerseys. So how did I get this many? How did I get these? I carried 6, and what other was left, my wife checked out with.
Yeah.
So, but what I loved about this event was not only getting all of these, but also being able to kind of flesh out the collection with these other items. So I got to grab probably my favorite Auburn volleyball jerseys.
You love that blue one with the
I love the
power stripe.
I love the stripes. But here's what kills me. Were you standing there with us when we were discussing this?
I don't think so.
These stripes are not perfectly around the sleeve like they are, the old.
No, are you about to show us another tapered thing?
Yep. Let's see. Look at that. They don't match up at all.
There's got to be a reason for that.
I don't know why. So
can't unsee it.
If you wear this, it essentially goes from here all the way around and doesn't connect back to itself. It's at an angle.
So I'm trying to think about.
It drives me nuts.
Well, okay, I'm trying to think about with them raising their arms so much. It has to do something with that.
No, they just put the stripe at a weird angle. And Kyle, you said before we got on, do I need to bring up anything? I'm gonna grab a game photo for you.
Okay.
Because this was probably one of just the craziest things. And it's such a simple, dumb thing. But like, why can't we fix this in everything? Oop,
that's all right. Button. I'll bring it up when you're ready.
Share screen, window, and this photo.
We should probably always just have the share screen up just in case.
We should. All right, bring it up.
All right.
There you go.
That's stupid. Clint, I hate that. I hate that so much. I want to know what the girls thought about this.
They're probably not thinking about it too much, but you can see just how bad of an angle this was put at. And
yeah. How did we never notice this?
I did.
I know you did, but that's common folk.
And it's just bad. And it's so bad that I had to buy it twice.
Oh my God.
Oh, actually, that's hers.
That's what really? Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Are you
pull
kidding?
It back up. Yep. 21,
wow.
21. Okay.
Look at that.
There we go. That's funny.
That'll never happen again, probably. It's almost, Clint, we should have played it off like we timed it. Like,
oh, you're right.
That's what we should have done.
Sorry. But yeah, it's crazy how that happens. But I have one more volleyball jersey, and it's this pink one.
Yeah. Is that more of it? Now, I don't know if it's our screen playing. Is it like a hot pink to you, or is
it's a hot pink?
Okay.
It is a hot pink.
What game, or was there a special game for this? Maybe like awareness, some type of.
It was worn 2022 through 2024, and at least once per year, Auburn would do like a cancer awareness, breast cancer awareness. So there is a ribbon on the back.
Yep.
So, but what's interesting about this one is There's dark pink pinstripes on it.
Oh, that's a cool little touch. That's almost like the tiger stripes in the track uniform this year, where they're very just subtle until you get up right on it. That's a cool touch.
When they revealed these a couple of years ago, like I'm going through and I'm doing the mock-up of it, and I was like, okay, that's a simple uniform. Then, like the day before the event, they posted another photo of the game day photos with the close-ups of the players in their uniform, and I looked at it and it just caught my eyes. Like, wait a minute, there's pinstripes here, but it's only on the torso. They're not on the sleeves. They're not even on the back. They are just on the front torso.
I got to know the reasons. I know you don't know the reasons, but why?
So a lot of the pink ones, and actually I got another pink item next, but a lot of the pink items were very templated. So every Under Armour team who wanted to wear a pink uniform basically wore the same design.
Yeah.
Including women's basketball.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting. I don't know if I like that waistband though. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, I know that same design goes on the bottom of the shorts, and it's on the collar and I think the sides of the jerseys too. It's been
obviously this design is more so about the awareness aspect of it, so I won't complain too much. But I just didn't like that waistband as soon as you held it up.
It's rough.
It's bold.
I mean, there weren't a lot of great photos from the Auburn game when they debuted these. So part of the sneaky ways to do some uniform watching is go find the other teams. So I went to Cincinnati and found the exact same uniform with just the logo and number change. And that's how I was able to mop these up. So I guess we'll stick with women's basketball.
Just keep rolling through the themes.
Last year's shorts.
Yes. So classic. Looks good. Home, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. And here's another weird thing. Those stripes aren't straight. They curved them around the hip.
Clint, this was supposed to be just fun show and tell, not you make us frustrated at all the things we've never noticed and now we'll be looking for.
Do you want one more?
Oh God. Oh no.
There's tiger stripes in the bottom.
Wait. Point them out. I am not seeing them. Maybe people in the chat. Wait a minute. Oh no. I thought those were wrinkles.
Nope. Those are tiger stripes.
Okay, first of all, that's kind of a cool effect, but it just feels out of place.
It does. And it was on all three colorways, but it's just right there at the bottom. And they do look like wrinkles, but they were intentional. And it's only on the
last year's?
Yes, last year's.
Okay.
And then one last basketball item. Some men's basketball shorts.
There you go. Do you like having that eagle patch right there? Or do you like that style of eagle patch?
It's the only place that you see the eagle anywhere. Like, I don't love it.
Yeah.
But it's fine. But yeah, these were the 2019 to 2023 uniforms. So it's nice. This was like the only men's basketball thing that I got, because there was not much and it went really quick. But we talked about kind of identifying some of these items. So there's the belt buckle. Right on the inside of that is a tag, and sometimes you'll have a player name and number written in Sharpie there. But what they started doing recently is getting a label maker. So that is Presley Patterson.
Oh, Presley.
So
coming off the bench.
That's how you can identify some of these. So that's all those items. But then I was able to grab some baseball and softball pants. And somebody had asked me on Twitter, like, why would you get baseball pants? First of all, they were $5.
Right.
Second of all, I can now have a full uniform in my closet or on a mannequin should I get one.
That's what we're wanting.
Pinstripes.
Those are good ones to buy, though, the pinstripes.
Pinstripes to match the pinstripes. The plain white ones that they wore the last couple of years, these don't have any labels on them, so I'm not sure if these were tied to any specific player. But we already showed the blue shirt, the blue jersey. So blue pants. We'll
Blue
go
pants, blue
full
jersey.
blueberry.
I was about to say the blueberry effect.
And then let's see. I've got the matching white pants for softball and the large striped blue pants that softball wore. So that is just about my entire haul.
Man, we went through that fast, to be honest with you.
I grabbed some gloves.
Turn those around. Oh, is that front and back right that you're showing? Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Got some gloves. These were $1. And then
you would pick the orange ones.
Should have grabbed the other ones too, but it's kind of a madhouse.
Yeah.
And then I just went ahead and grabbed another football helmet visor. So this was $10.
Oh, I wasn't aware those were there.
This was $10. They usually go for $50, brand new. So wow. These are always great to have if you're gonna build a couple of helmets.
Is it just one per pack, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if there was...
this one is actually a tinted visor. So you could get tinted or perfectly clear, but I went ahead and just grabbed a tinted one. I think they look better on the shelf.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so it comes with the
clips,
the visor clips, and it also comes with a sheet of visor tab decals.
The more you know. This is an unboxing video now. This isn't just showing you. This is unboxing.
Keys to whatever you want that comes with the bots. So there you go. That was my haul.
I'll be honest with you. I thought we were going to struggle to get through most of it there, but you took us. Let's talk about here. You had football, men's and women's basketball. You had volleyball, baseball, softball. Am I missing any sport that's not represented in your haul?
Nope, that's all of them.
At the event, there was track and field.
There was.
Was there anything else that I missed? I think that was the gist of it. Obviously no gymnastics.
No gymnastics, which honestly was kind of odd because they did wear Under Armour Leos for a little while.
Right. So I wonder, so if there's a limited number of those anyway, obviously there probably is not that much of a surplus of it.
Those cost a lot of money anyways.
That's what I was going to wonder, if those are just because they're so unique, so special, that wasn't going to be.
And all the rhinestones on them and everything.
Yeah, which you would love to have to recreate, on your little mock-ups and all that kind of stuff. So that's the sports. I know you can't officially confirm there were any players' uniforms officially, right? Like there's not bold this person's name attached, but
they had to remove nameplates
right
for all of them.
But there were no hints, because I think somebody showed me one where you could clearly see something that outlined some names.
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody sent that to me on Instagram because they bought the Scout priced on eBay, unfortunately, but you could clearly see on the back, even though the nameplate had been removed, Davidson was still there, and it was a Marlon Davidson jersey.
So, but we're pretty sure Rose Roach, Aaron Sippus, Ryan Dial, maybe. What other names do you think were attached to some of the ones that I'm just trying to get a summation
Andrew
here.
Dutton, Sam Dutton, Aubrey Lisenby, that's
Presley Patterson.
So, kind of the fun part of it is doing the research to figure out who wore these. So, kind of the way that I think most people should be able to identify what they've got is, one, check the tags, just see what year that it was first worn. You can also check auburnuniforms.com and see what years these were worn. Like this one, this cream jersey was not worn during I actually had it written down, the 2016 season. So it was worn 2015, not 16, but then 17 and 18 again. So, and then you just cross-reference the rosters. So, the SEC graduate patch became a thing in 2016, 2017. So that's a Dylan Ingram thing of why that's added to this jersey specifically.
Okay.
So
kind of going through your haul there, just thinking about some of the different themes and elements of it. Talked about the players that probably were associated with those. I asked you this pre-show, and I'm going to push you a little bit more for it. I know you said you don't technically have a favorite. If you had to say, what is your favorite find, just gut reaction out of all the things that you just showed us from your haul from the surplus event?
Probably what I'm just happiest to have.
That's what I meant. Like, what makes you the most happy out of it?
It's this cream jersey.
Yeah.
But also, I love having a full uniform.
That's what I was going to guess.
You know, this is just fun. And again, somebody asked me on Twitter, like, why would you do this? And what would you do with them? But
just have it.
now I have it. And I actually have, well, my closet's open, so might as well jump in here.
Oh, here we go. Now he's pulling out the closet stuff.
I have an older pair of cream pants.
Yeah, so now it goes with your cream top
to match with the jersey. So now I have a full throwback uniform.
Very nice. So blueberry / the other. Okay, yeah. So that's your favorite. So I'm gonna ask you one more. I'm gonna push you again, but I'm gonna remove baseball. What would be your favorite item out of the non-baseball things?
I'm glad that I got last year's football jersey.
Okay. That's what I thought you do with the 150 patch. That's what I thought it would be.
No, not that one.
Oh.
No, the 2024 one.
Okay.
With the
Gotcha.
With this thing, the flap in it.
With the flap, so you could demonstrate that, yeah.
That's cool. One of the items that I thought was oddly the most popular was this one. I saw a lot of people buying this teal.
It's kind of unique.
It is. So many people were picking up like, what the heck is this? And they would grab it because it was $35.
Right.
Why not? So.
Yes.
It's just cool. And again, you know, I posted I think I quoted your tweet yesterday, but kind of one of the small underrated parts of this whole event was seeing people interact with game jerseys for the first time ever.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman in front of us in line who was wearing a 2011, 2012 Chick-fil-A Bowl jersey. It's skin tight. That was the tightest template that Under Armour ever released. And it was tight. I saw a young girl, probably 12, putting on a soccer jersey and just the smile on her face. I saw an older lady putting on a practice basketball jersey. She's like, "Oh, it's just a tank top." Like, no, it's a practice jersey, and they're reversible. So she put it on, looked at it, pulled it off, flipped it out, and put it back on. And it was just so many people were able to experience this for the first time. And I know a couple of other people who were not able to make it, but they have definitely gotten the addiction of jersey collecting. So
this was a good gateway drug for folks.
It really is. And it's just cool to see the details that you never noticed. Again, who would have thought that this would have a flap inside for the shoulder pads? Who would have thought that, you know, these you actually get to see and feel the texture on this. And, you know, for me, I get to lay it on the floor and, you know, figure out how it folds, and it helps with my template building for the site. But like, you know, I had reported last year that even the logos they're not embroidered. It's more of a plastic feel. And now I get to experience that in my hand.
Yeah. It was a cool thing. And it's certainly watching the kids get to experience, and, you know, because you take yourself back to that time in place where you idolized a certain player and you got to wear that jersey, and you always assumed, no matter what, if it was real, authentic, or whatever, that I'm being that player. Now some of these kids are wearing these numbers that maybe, just maybe, some of their favorite players wore out there. So there's been a lot of pictures that we've shared from a lot of different people. Certainly you can see my quote unquote haul. I got 3 items: a football jersey with my high school number, white gloves, and then just a generic Under Armour hat that I actually really liked because I needed a generic hat just to have. So other things here, and then maybe we can take some questions. I know we've got a limited amount of time with you tonight.
Oh, yeah.
we have got a lot of questions coming in about what happens next, because not everything was sold, according, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Clint, but according to Rhett Hobart, who obviously his team put on the event, they are working through what happens next. There is no definitive answer. There are certain laws in the state of Alabama in regards to surplus sales and how those can be done. A lot of people have asked about, is there going to be an online sale for things that are left over? We don't know. Is there anything that you've heard otherwise that you're able to share? Or is it pretty much what I just said in regards to that?
I've been able to hear the exact same things.
Okay.
I have heard a couple of rumblings that it might turn away from an online sale and might go to a third party company. Just kind of depends on, again, how Auburn is allowed to do this.
Sure.
The way I was told, Auburn is now a Nike school. Can Auburn really benefit from making money twice on Under Armour gear? So they already sold all this. Can they really turn around and sell what's left? That's kind of the touchy point right now.
Okay. A couple questions if you've got some time for them, if you want to do that. This is from Unbeaten Lake. Were they selling national title game jerseys? I didn't see any.
I didn't see any. Those, I would imagine that they probably kept those closer to the vest.
There's got to be. I'm convinced there was one gem in there somewhere that, like, you just probably picked it up and like, wow, how am I the person that got this one? I mean, frankly, that's how I felt about my jersey with my number on it.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of how I got that 90 with the 150. I was like, I'm just gonna go look around again, and I found it. The jerseys, the football jerseys, when I got back to them, were not very well organized. Not saying like these are all 2020, these are all 2022, these are all 2010s. It felt like, I would find a 2011 jersey with a Chick-fil-A ball patch right next to a 2020 jersey with the Auburn Unity patch. Mm-hmm. So they were all mixed in, especially after everybody had gotten their hands on them.
Here's a question for me. Speaking of patches, what was the variety of patches you saw? I saw the Unity patch. We just saw the 150. We saw a lot of like breast cancer awareness, things like that. What were some other patches?
The 75th anniversary of the SEC patch from 2007 for football.
SEC graduate.
SEC graduate patches. The football team has worn a handful of different SEC patches, and it's all covered on auburnuniforms.com if you want to dive into that. But the first year with Under Armour in 2006, the football jersey numbers were actually screen printed. Mm-hmm. 2007, they were tackle, twill, and sewn on, so you could quickly and easily find both styles. You could have easily found every single style of Auburn football jersey between template, number application, and patch in that collection.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, to me, that was what I had some fun doing, because, and keep in mind, folks, I had a very limited amount of time that I actually got to see things unencumbered, because I was in there for 5 to 10 minutes before anybody came in just to do real quick videoing, and then it just started and began. I had to get back out of line or I came back in an hour later because I knew I was not going to wait out in that heat for that. So by the time I got there, everything had, most things had been at least cycled through a few times, and so I was seeing people walking around with this patch and that patch, and that's what I would have loved. Is just, it would have been cool if they had the time to like lay some things out and do like a video of it and say, like, here's some of the cool things that you're going to see. And you won't find this patch anywhere, or that kind of thing.
I had the thought the night after, like, it would have been really cool to somehow partner as the Auburn Uniform Database and kind of, for lack of a better term, of like do a uniform consultation. It's like, here's what you have. Here's how have at it.
This is there's a show like that where basically
Antique Roadshow,
but there's something other than that, the proving the provenance of it, whatever it's called, or provenance, whatever it's called.
I don't know.
Anyway, all right. This is also from Unbeaten Lake. He said, I just wonder why they were holding on to those uniforms, some for almost 20 years. What do you say to that, Clint?
I don't have an answer. Auburn has just been hoarding on to them, and the way that I would understand it now after this weekend is that there are certain ways that they have to get rid of these certain products.
Yes,
and
I think there are rules.
maybe that's kind of been the way. I know a couple of years ago, they did an online auction and sold off a couple of boxes, and that auction went for $26,000,
Wow.
and that included a lot of baseball, softball, and like soccer and uniforms, and then a lot of T-shirts and jackets and stuff from the 2010 and 2013 seasons. So they've tried to get rid of it, and then I've heard a lot of stories over the last couple of weeks of when Auburn changed from Russell to Under Armour that they just threw everything in the dumpster out back. So it hurts, doesn't it? But
history,
I don't
man.
know. I don't know. But
that is history.
We got to benefit from it.
We did. Okay. That's all the questions I have saved. You guys have another minute or few minutes here with Clint. If you have another question that you want to bring up, or if there's anything that Clint wants to, I'll allow him to do so. But also, Clint, I just want to leave space for you to plug whatever you want real quickly before we start winding down our time.
Just continue to follow me at ClintAU24 on Twitter and at Auburn Uniforms everywhere else. The Auburn Uniform Database is your home for all things Auburn uniforms, and during this transition from Under Armour to Nike, full coverage is there. If you're looking to buy new Auburn Nike apparel, shop through my affiliate links and you'll be able to fund purchases like this.
Yes. It's weird to think that, probably all the money that you made from affiliates went into that. I mean, I don't know how much Clint makes from that. I'm just saying it's just funny how that kind of is like a little circle of life thing going on there for you, funding your addiction, funding your addiction.
Yeah.
This from Unbeaten Lake. I'm just hoping for new Nike pants stripes won't curve over the knee.
They don't.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't know about that. Of course, now that I've spent an entire stream once again, Clint ruining things for me, showing me sleeve stripes that don't go in a actual circle or anything like that.
You're
tapered
welcome.
Knee stripes, all these things that you've ruined.
So I did forget one item.
Oh no.
I didn't purchase this Saturday, but a buddy Cody, who was in the chat earlier, he brought me a gift. And these, do you know where these came from, Kyle?
I don't. I'm not even going to try to guess.
The 2010 National Championship game.
No, they didn't. Shut up, Clint Richardson. You waited this whole stream. Yep. Bring those back up on stream. What are we doing here? What is this mess? Hold on. These are 2010 National Championship shoes.
Yep. They are.
You waited this whole stream.
I did. They were right here, and I forgot about it. So
how did you forget about that?
I thought you would like that.
How is that not even in your favorites? Like, I know you're a baseball guy.
It wasn't my haul. I didn't buy it.
That's part of it.
We were going over the surplus sale, not the gifted item.
Okay, all right, whatever. That's pretty cool though.
But these are probably going to go right up there with that other pair of shoes right there.
So. Orange and a blue. Yeah. So it all matches together.
I don't know enough about cleats to tell you anything else about them, but that's my collection.
Well, I wanted the show to end with a bang, and there it is. 2010 National Title cleats. That's pretty awesome. All right. Anything else that we need to cover about the subject, about the show and tell that we haven't? Or we covered the details?
I think that's it. I think we got it.
All right. Well, once again, folks, I know sometimes we feel like we go overboard on some of these subjects, but there's so much to dive into. I know we've got a ton of content. We've got a video from the day at the surplus sale. If you'll go out and check that out. Austin
and I run into my baseball uniforms.
Clint's in the video. It's pretty funny. And there's also content for me and Austin talking about our experiences, his purchases, if you want to see those as well on the main podcast.
What did Austin get?
Austin got very Austin things. It was a baseball jersey, 2 baseball jerseys, if I'm not mistaken. And then what was the third thing that he got?
He got a football jersey, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and watch. Obviously didn't make that much of an impression on me. I did think when no, he got also like a long sleeve pullover thing that I once again said Austin gets very Austin things.
He did get a number 23 football jersey.
That's what it was.
A number 13 orange baseball jersey. So
that's what it was, because we were debating if this is Ontario McCaleb.
I think it is OMAC.
That's pretty awesome. He might have the best out of all of us. I'm just going to be honest, Clint. Now, you got 20. I know that's not part of your haul, but now that you have those cleats just brought out here at the end, that takes the cake. But OMAC is probably the best thing. But
well, I know that we can't confirm his right now, but I can confirm this is an Ontario McCaleb jersey.
Oh my! He's just trying to one up everybody. He's like, you know what? The stream's over. I'm just going to pull out the big guns now, and just here's the national championship cleats. Here's the official Ontario McCaleb jersey. What else are you hiding back there, Clint? Oh,
that's it.
Actually, okay,
that's
whatever.
it.
I don't believe you for an instance. All right, folks. Well, we hope you enjoyed our stream with Clint and the summer with Clint. It's been a great time, and he is, I'm sure, not done here. We've got plenty of things.
There's a lot more coming up.
Winter uniforms. I'm sure we'll be back discussing about all that kind of stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thanks to Clint for joining us as well. We really appreciate you being here and spending some time being a part of our little family within the Auburn family. Until we talk to you again, War Eagle.
War Eagle.